So you walk into a doctor's office with symptoms of impaired speech, breathing, and varying sleep disorders. An MRI and a blood test are done, and it's discovered that you have multiple system atrophy, other known as Shy-Drager syndrome. So being diagnosed with this is very difficult because it's a really hard disease to find out. There's different diseases that it can look a lot like. For example, Parkinson's and some other sleep disorders. So MRIs and blood tests are the best way to identify the disease. Possible ways of identifying multiple symptom atrophy are just by going to your doctor with different symptoms. But there are many causes or cases are actually misdiagnosed as Parkinson's, which causes harm in the long run of a person's illness. Mistreating an illness can be dangerous and potentially a lethal mistake. Here's a video of people that have suffered with the misdiagnosis and trying to get their disorder treated.
I went to GI doctors, neurologists. They tried to do everything on the prostate for months and months. Nobody had ever mentioned, seeing a neurologist. I've been diagnosed with fibromyalgia, chronic migraines, osteoporosis. I've been told just bear up and deal with it. She would be walking and she would stumble. Balance was an issue. She went through 4 misdiagnoses. We had no diagnosis for over a year. There's a lady that used to type 75 words a minute without even breaking a drop of sweat, and now she can't type one finger at a time. Well, we went to like 4, 5, 6 different doctors, and nobody was putting it all together, which is a huge issue because if you don't put it all together, you're never going to get diagnosed.
So the unsuspecting illness is really hard to diagnose, but in MRIs, it actually does have some telling features. So right here in the brain, you can see that there is a X-like formation. That is the biggest tell of multiple system atrophy, and this causes a deterioration and of the brain cells in the spinal cords is currently unknown. We have no idea where this comes from or what causes it. The disease isn't inherited, nor is it contagious. Prevention of multiple system atrophy has not yet either been discovered. There are multiple symptoms that may result in multiple system atrophy, but main results of the illness are constipation, disorderly bladder dysfunction, impotence in men, impaired speech, difficulty breathing and swallowing, and the inability to sweat, and many, many more. There is a great impact on the lives of people with multiple system atrophy. This video shows how the lives of patients have been affected after their initial diagnosis.
I feel that I'm trapped in my body and I'm a retired nurse, telephone triage nurse, was able to type, everything was on type. I've forgotten where the letters are. Went from running a case to this over there for 2 years. And when I came home, I cried. I said, I had MSA. I didn't know if it was a chemical additive or what. And so I went home and I started looking up MSA online. It was like the clouds lifted. This is exactly what he has. And then it was this feeling of dread.
So here are all the lists of the different symptoms of multiple system atrophy, including the symptoms of Parkinson's up here. So there's rigidity, tremors, and different personality disorders that can equally come in. There's a lot of neurological things that can happen too, with sweating abnormalities, psychiatry problems, sleep disorders, cardiovascular dysfunctions, gastrointestinal dysfunctions, and many, many more. Currently, there is no treatment of this disease. There are ways to lessen discomfort, like staying up while you're sleeping or being able to get some medications for different pain relievers. An artificial breathing and feeding tube can be surgically implanted for management of swallowing and breathing difficulties. And overall, there's not a lot you can do about this. Unfortunately, multiple system atrophy is a terminal disease. Most people will die within 7 to 10 years of initial diagnosis. And there's not much you can do about the disease. Many cases are simply a waiting game for most to spend with their families and bear through. The process is slow and painful. However, you should never give up hope. There's research going on every day which brings us closer to a solution. To make it short, and giving up hope is the quickest way of dying to disease. But overall, this is a very painful and currently untreatable disease that many people suffer with. Zero point 0.6 to zero point 0.7 people per 100,000 every year are diagnosed with multiple system atrophy. It's a large thing to handle, and without any prevention, a lot of people it's just a surprise. And as of now, there's no cure still. And although people are constantly looking every day in labs and overall just trying to figure out what to do, all these postural instabilities, tremors, rigidness, and gait and symptom axia really make it hard for anyone with the disease to actively go and seek help. There's a lot of other symptoms, but nothing is worse than the lifespan that you have. Over 10 years, it's often a terminal illness, although there are people that have succeeded in going through it. And with the Parkinson's diagnosis, many people are mistreated constantly. Overall, before self-treating or misdiagnosing yourself, please go to the doctor and get every option that you can. And you may be able to survive the disease if you have it. And please, if someone you know has it, give them their best help that you can. And that's it. Thank you for coming to the presentation and have a great day.
Hey,